Hello, friends. I'm back. Back in the fold, back in the saddle, doing what I do best. And today, I have a guest. It's Jackie. Say hello, Jackie.
Hello, how are you?
So I'm going to tell her what happened, and she's going to tell me what she thinks, and then I'll leave the floor open for you guys to tell me what you think. Okay. So, there I was. I was right here, my very own bed, and I was sleeping. And my phone rang. And it was my ex-husband. But I'm like drunk with sleep. Like, Saturday morning, like sleep, right? And I answer the phone, like, hello? That's not true. I was like, right? And it was like cold in my eye, it was dribble, it was like boob sweat. And I picked up the phone. Troy's sitting at the foot of the bed using my laptop because he knows not to take my laptop too far away from here. So he's doing his homework. And I pick up the phone and I'm like, I'm talking, but I don't understand what I'm saying because I'm sleeping. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, ugh. And it's my ex-husband. And he said, he's cursing me out. Like, he's cursing me out real bad. Like, cursing, F this, F that, you're such a this, you're such a that, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, wait, what? What is this about? And, don't act like you don't know what's about. You're stopping the children from talking to my dad. So I'm like, are you going to let me talk at all? And he's like, no. F that. You don't get to talk.
No.
Those are my children. And if I tell them to send their grade book to their aunt and their uncle and their grandma and their grandpa, they should be able to send their grades. They sent it to my sister. They sent their grades to my brother. They sent it to my mom. And they did not send it to my dad. And the reason why they claimed they didn't send it to my dad, their grandfather, is because you told them not to. Now, I'm knocked out. I'm like done. Friday night was the top night. So I'm in here sleep. Now, I'll be honest. I told my children if they didn't want to talk to their grandfather, they don't have to. The reason why I told my children they don't have to talk to their grandfather if they don't want to is because the grandfather's inappropriate.
Okay.
The grandfather will tell them, don't listen to your mom. No matter what she says, your father never touched her. Because my kids didn't know about the domestic violence piece. So when the grandfather said that, now I need to go and do damage control and I have to tell them the truth because they didn't know that.
Now they wondering what really
Now they wonder. They go up there to visit. The grandfather's telling them, oh, your mom's bald-headed. I'm going to kick her off the edge of my balcony with steel-toed boots. As many of you guys know, I had Troy before I was married. And biologically, my ex-husband is not Troy's father. The grandfather will make mention of that and will tell the other two, oh, he doesn't have our teeth. He don't got the teeth like us. And point out that my son is
not part of their
gene pool. So it got to the point where they didn't want to go visit. And they began to complain and say, if I'm going up here to see my grandfather, I just want to see my grandfather. I don't want to deal with that extra stuff. Mm-hmm. So he calls me, he yells at me, all that, and the conversation comes to a close. So there's truth to what he's saying. I am telling them that they don't have to call if they don't want to. And they said, at the end of the call, bitch, hangs up in my face. Here's my thing. The whole reason why they got them grades is because of me.
That's true.
I'm a teacher. I'm the one that's physically here. I'm the one, but we just going to ignore that piece. Okay, that's fine. So I wanted a male perspective. So I asked a man, I said, hey, what do you think about the situation? I said, and then he called me a bitch and hung up. And the guy goes, okay. Because he doesn't see any issue with this at all. So I go, I ain't female perspective. The guy goes, lady, he said to me, jokingly, he's like, lady, you got the house, the kids, the car, and the imaginary dog.
Mm-hmm. Take a bed somewhere around here.
Somewhere around here. Indigo's no longer here. He's no longer with us. He didn't die. I got rid of him, put him in, because he snapped the Trinity. So, right? He has to curse you out. I said, excuse me? He said he has to. Think about it. You're a teacher. He's an E7 in the military. He probably makes double what I make. But somehow, he's not winning. You carefree. Every pay period is sending you a lump sum of money. You're living in the house. You got kids. He gotta win somewhere. And I'm like, that's dumb. And he's like, but don't you feel better when you curse someone out? So what do you think about that?
First off, there are many other ways to win as opposed to cussing someone out because something that happened had nothing to do with you. It was the children's choice not to.
Okay.
But he's failing to see that, and it was all your fault because you gave them that option as a parent if they wanted to communicate or not.
And all three of my kids have their own line of service.
They have their own phones. So, what they do with their cell phones, to an extent, is their business. If you
I don't
give
have
them that
no,
option, right?
I don't have no restrictions, no parental control.
So by him calling you to cuss you out, I guess he wanted to feel like he has some type of power,
like some clout.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wanted to feel like he just, I'm finna justify this for my dad. They want to send him to, why she doing it? Blah, blah. You know, it's him. He's puffing his chest out right now.
Yeah.
He's I'm finna show what I can do. But that's all he got.
But okay, yes. So we were supposed to go back in-person instruction on Wednesday. But my children are virtual. So what they did, they made the teachers are teaching from the classroom. So my mom is here visiting, but my kids are home all day with my mom.
Okay.
They all have phones. So with the exception of me come home on lunch break, they're home with their phones all day. All three of the children's bedrooms are upstairs. I sleep down here. I gave daddy, grandma, granddad, auntie, and uncle the children's phone numbers. That's how you got their numbers. I gave you the numbers.
Which you didn't have to do.
Which I didn't have to do.
At all.
Oh, and let's talk about it. I went to Aruba. I bought my plane tickets out of JFK to take my kids to Aruba last year for spring break. And I asked Granddad, can I bring the children? He said, yes, bring them. Yes, bring them. Next month, yes, bring them. Next week, yes, bring them. Tomorrow, yes, bring them. I went to Aruba. I came back, and the plan was to drop them off for a couple of days, maybe like 2 days. And I would stay with my best friend. I went, hey, Granddad, I just landed. I'm picking my car up from my auntie's house. And then I'll be dropping the children off. All right, I'll be over there. Yo, he didn't answer the door. I was out there like.
So you better than me, because that's about as far as my effort would have
That would have
been done. I'd have been done. I'd be like, hey, you know what? If you want to see him, talk to him, you make the effort. I'm done. That's it.
I could have flew out of Norfolk. I drove 7 hours to New York to fly to JFK so that on the way back they could see their grandkids.
Yeah. No, I would have been like, you know what?
My kids are the only grandkids.
So he ruined that himself.
Oh, the entire 3.5 years I was living in South Carolina, with the exception of one Christmas and one summer, I drove 11 hours from Columbia, South Carolina to Brooklyn, New York, dropped them off to their grandfather, drove back to go to work, drove back to pick them up, and then drove back to come back home.
Girl, you a brave soul, because I sure as hell would.
11 hours per week.
I sure as hell would have done that. I would have been like, hey.
Let them tell it. I'm keeping the kids from their father.
Hey, I would be like, hey. The way my mileage set up.
The way my car's set up.
Y'all might want to get a ticket for them, because
I've taken plane, trains, and automobiles literally
and
to facilitate visitation.
Yet, because he got missed by getting a report card, he feeling some type of way. And X got a call and
cursed me out
for him.
And the children told me they don't like to talk to the grandfather because the first 10 minutes of the conversation is, you know when you don't go to church for a long time?
Oh, and they scold you.
And they be like, we ain't seen you in a month. Yeah, where you been?
Yeah.
But God.
That's them older folks, though. You know, they got that.
The first 10 minutes of conversation is why you ain't. Well, I know your mother's stopping you from calling me, and my kids be like, you know
what,
bro?
They ain't got no filters. You right?
So,
but now he ain't had no right to do that, and for him to call you going off and not even give you a chance to explain the situation.
Oh, I explained it several times.
That was just, a liar. That was just for him to be an E7 in the military.
Oh, he's a military police. He's an MP.
That was very impulsive of him, and it made him look very childish. So I'm gonna put it like that. I'm in the military, by the way, so trust me, that's very childish. But you know, and for old boy to be like, oh yeah,
he could curse me out. Yeah.
No, that ain't no. You could, and that kind of shows you what
his mind is at. Exactly, because that's childish.
So you feel like that's appropriate for someone to just call you this and that early
on the Sabbath.
On a Sabbath, yeah.
On the Sabbath. It was Saturday morning. I was asleep. I'm Seventh-day Adventist. It was the Sabbath. I was knocked out, Jackie. I was in here knock. Like I was like,
so he ruined your sleep and laid you out.
Yeah, I'm up. Bitch, I'm up. Cat dog voice. Like I was, and Yep. 47. The answer's 47. Like I don't know. I was sleeping.
What you say, Vanna White?
That's it. I'll take Chinese cuisine for $400, Alex. Like I was asleep. R.I.P. Alex Trebek. Like I was asleep.
Yep.
So okay. Well, it was good to hear a woman's perspective. Definitely appreciate that. I would like for my public to tell me what y'all think. Sidebar, friend with the hoodie subscribes and saw it and was like, girl, if you don't bring me my hoodie. He's not getting the hoodie. Like, subscribe, share. I will see you guys later. Enjoy your evening. Be safe. Wash your hands. Sanitize everything.
Stay fit.